Democracy is the chosen system of governance in more than 140 countries, in the hope that elected governments fulfill the needs and aspirations of the citizens. But it is a great paradox that leaders elected through free and fair elections often fail to fulfill the wishes of the people. India's experiment in democracy is under watch globally. Not only because it is the largest democracy in the world, but also because of its complexities of linguistic, ethnic, and religious diversities. One-fourth of the country's population lives below the poverty line. Half of our infants are undernourished. 9% of children die before the age of 5. 70% of rural population have no sanitation. Lakhs of villages are deprived of reliable power supply and safe drinking water. Almost 1/3 of our people are illiterate. We have every reason to be unhappy with the governance of our country. In an international dialogue on democracy at Asia Plateau in 2003, a largely attended conference on globalization concluded that if a developing country wants to take advantages of the forces of globalization, it must first set its own house in order. A keynote speaker stated,
"The poor cannot eat democracy. Democracy must deliver."
The message was loud and clear. We must revisit our systems and processes, the policies and their implementation. Deliberations followed in a series of roundtable conferences organized by the Initiative of Change around the country to set a center for governance to think collectively on the state of public governance of the country. The IC Center for Governance is based on the philosophy of the Initiative of Change. Under the chairmanship of Justice M.N. Venkatachalya, former Chief Justice of India, and Dr. Abid Hussain, former Indian Ambassador in Washington, it was launched on 13th December 2003 at the Indian Habitat Center, New Delhi. While inaugurating the center, Justice Venkatachalya said, "The state of governance in the country is, to say the least, not very satisfying." The center believes that governance is too serious a matter to be left only to the politicians and bureaucrats. It believes that the civil society must play a definitive role in governance of the country. Apart from being a think tank, it was decided, it will also do vigorous advocacy with policymakers, opinion makers, and leaders of civil society. IC Center for Governance has been organizing conferences, interactions, and lecture series on the burning topics relating to governance. 12 lecture series have been conducted so far. On the basis of our experience, the Centre is convinced that in order to secure high and inclusive economic growth and eliminate corruption, we need ethics to be the cornerstone of governance in all areas. Since ethics is the creed of the Centre, we believe ethics as lived and not ethics as preached from pulpits. In an effort to bring in ethical leadership, the Centre has started a program on ethics in public governance for senior government officials of All India Services and Central Services, State Services at Panchgani. This is what the participants had to say.
You need to have a lot of ethics in governance. So it was from that point of view, I think this program acquires a lot of significance.
IC Centre for Governance has taken a very innovative steps.
And India desperately needs this.
It allows us to pause and think over.
When we go back, I think there are a lot many things we are carrying with us.
It's an interesting course and different from the routine training programs that we've attended.
There is a lot of peer group learning.
This is an excellent program, both in terms of the content and the methodology.
Time to introspect and time to re-introspect. A very refreshing and a very good course. I think I'll be a better person once I leave this.
We not only run programs for our civil servants, but also run courses and conduct workshops for other countries. A number of African countries have deputed their officers to participate in the ethics program at Asia Plateau.
That is supposed to be multiplied and spread all over the developing countries, especially the country I came from.
It's a centre that is changing India for the better. And for me to be able to just be here and meet and talk with these people and learn from them, first-hand experiences that accounts, I am very fortunate.
It will help me more also to take that with me to Lebanon and to start maybe organizing something similar for our country.
It's a new approach because it looks at how you can change yourself.
Part of the program of inclusive leadership, which is certainly what we need.
It's going to be very good, and I wanted to talk to some of the trainers about it.
By attending this course, I believe I can reconnect with the people that I work with.
It's a marvellous course, both because it's tremendous fun to be with this variety of people.
The Centre also launched a half-yearly journal of governance covering different areas of governance. The inaugural issue was released by Honourable Vice President of India. Eminent authors and experts contribute to the prestigious journal. Special issues on subjects like urban governance, healthcare, education, and civil service have been brought out. Our aim is to collectively create a community of ethics. An e-magazine Ethics in Governance carries the message to a wider group of practitioners of governance. The Centre also networks with our collaborators and associates to increase our reach and include like-minded institutions and groups. During the last 2 years, foreign countries have also started showing interest in the activities of the Centre. The government of newly liberated South Sudan requested the Centre to prepare a blueprint of reforms in their administration. The Vice President sent a team of their senior-most officers to discuss the reform program. IC Centre was also invited by IOFC International for an international conference on human security held at Cox, Switzerland. An annual dialogue on democracy has also been introduced at Asia Plateau in collaboration with IOFC India, where delegates from democracies across the globe share their experiences. In a stocktaking of the 10 years of the centre's existence, Shri R.D. Mathur, the inspiration behind the idea of the centre, said,
"Today the whole country has to rise up and once again look at ethics and integrity as part of our lives."
When we started, the journey was long. But as we move together, the distances are not far. In our journey of a decade, we can proudly say that the achievements of our centre have been impressive, but we have still miles to go.
I think the next big challenge for the center would be to transcend from individual ethics to institutional ethics. And this is required because we must inject ethical practices in our procedures of governance. And it is our act of faith that we'll continue to work with the same vigor and passion in future too.
Desire